Ladies and gentlemen, we here to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers cashing in their money in the bank briefcase and snagging Donovan Mitchell out of nowhere.
Oh, come on, man. I just wanted a break. Today was literally my day off, and now I'm seeing that Donovan Mitchell got traded. What the fuck? Well, we might as well talk about it because this has to be one of the most interesting trades, and I think has to be the biggest besides the Rudy Gobert trade, which ironically we're going to be talking about. So for those of you that do not live with Patrick Star under a rock, basically Donovan Mitchell was traded today to the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's right, the fucking Cavs. Now, I'm not saying that to say it was a bad trade. I think Cleveland definitely won this trade, and there's no doubt about it. I think they easily just became a top 5 team in the East. And if I'm being honest, this is me being very conservative. They could easily be a top team in the East and maybe even the NBA. I was very high on them last season, and I made sure I let everyone know, and they did very well for being in the situation they were towards the end of that season. And the fact they only gave out Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton is very impressive to me. Now, while they did give up 3 first-round picks, I really don't think those are going to matter because it seems like Cleveland's going to be contending for the next couple of seasons, or at the bare minimum making the playoffs. I'm also trying not to overhype them because we haven't seen this backcourt play together, even though on paper Mitchell and Garland is a top 5 backcourt minimum. But yes, as far as from the side of the Cleveland Cavaliers, they definitely won this trade and they took a massive W. I'm not sure how Donovan Mitchell is feeling. I know it's been like hours since this trade happened and I don't even think he said anything yet. I know the reports that he did want to go to New York, and I still believe that he actually did, but to be fair, New York gave up a pretty good offer. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see Donovan Mitchell getting traded solely because of that Rudy Gobert trade because it completely fucked up the market. The Timberwolves decided to overpay, and because they did that, a lot of teams are now thinking, oh, I can get 5 first-round picks. That was just for Rudy Gobert. I can get 7 for Donovan Mitchell. And I gotta give the Cavs credit. While they gave up a good player in Colin Sexton and Lauri Markkanen, they only gave up 3 first-round picks. So hopefully this leaves a permanent effect on the market and we're not having to throw 4 to 5 first-round picks for an all-star player. Now let's look at it from the Jazz side, because I know my boy 2for1 is gonna make a downfall of the Jazz video, but I have just a couple things to say. I told you so. I told you guys last season I didn't believe in this team. I told you guys that in the playoffs they were gonna fold like an omelet, and what did they do? They folded like an omelet. It wasn't even a good omelet. It was one from like fucking Waffle House or something. Overall, I had no confidence in the team performing, and I also had no confidence in this team staying together. Why should Donovan Mitchell waste his prime years on a team like the Utah Jazz and even Rudy Gobert? I'm not sure if we're considering this his prime or not, but why should he waste years on this team? The direction they're going in is not exactly known, and I don't think even fans of their teams could even tell you what the fuck is going on. I mean, yeah, you did get Colin Sexton and Lauri Markkanen, and I think a backcourt of Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson isn't the worst thing in the world. And while they do have some decent assets like Bogdan Bogdanovic and Mike Conley on top of Jordan Clarkson, obviously, I see this to be a very interesting situation because literally ain't no god diddly ding darn fucking way this team is competing with the roster they have right now. And I have a feeling that Utah knows this. I don't think they're going after a superstar player because no superstar or star player for that matter has any incentive to play. Some are speculating they're going to take their time in the NBA draft and try to just get some new young assets, which I guess good for you. I mean, even if you do get a really good player in the draft, like let's say that one Victor Wembanyama, I don't know how to say his name, on the off chance you still do get him, I have a feeling that Utah is somehow going to fuck this up. I mean, let's look at this objectively. You had Donovan Mitchell, a top 15 at the bare minimum, who is easily one of the best young players in this game, and you also had Rudy Gobert, who in my opinion was definitely a top 5 interior defender. Granted, sometimes he messed up and was playing like an interior decorator, but you know what, he had his moments and he did have some defensive player of the year campaigns. Now, the duo of Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert wasn't gonna work, and maybe there was a chance that Mitchell in Utah alone they would have done something, but nope, he's gone, and Utah, your team is, well, fucked. As far as I'm concerned, I think that's gonna be it for NBA trades in the offseason. I think free agency is just about done. I am actually seeing reports now that maybe Jordan Clarkson and Bogdan Bogdanovic could be on the move. I don't think think they're gonna get anything big out of it, obviously. I think it's literally gonna be just draft assets that they're getting back. And because I follow a lot of people on Suns Twitter, I've heard literally 1,000 fucking people saying, oh, the Suns are gonna Jordan Clarkson, or oh, the Suns are gonna Bogdan Bogdanovic. I think Clarkson and Bogdanovic should be a good move. I prefer Clarkson, obviously, which I think he'd be better as a sixth man, but I think Clarkson is also ready for a starting role. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if he'd start over Colin Sexton. I think Colin Sexton is slightly still a better player, but you really never know with the rotation. But in Phoenix, 1000% he'd be our sixth man coming off the bench. So I mean, shit, like a first round pick and Landry Shamet, yeah, we can take Jordan Clarkson off your hands. But if it's not something as simple as that, then I see no reason for Phoenix to try to keep going and pursue a trade. Now, let's talk Cleveland for a second, how they're gonna do this season. I'm not gonna lie, a team with Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and I think they still have Jared Allen on that team. Mind you, I know 1000% I did miss some key players on their bench. I really do see this team succeeding next year. Like I did mention earlier in the video, we have no idea how Darius Garland and we don't know how God damn, nope, I'm done. I'm going to fucking sleep. I need a nap. We don't know how Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland are gonna perform together. Y'all, you guys have no idea how long it took to do that one simple take. But seriously, all jokes aside, I don't know how Donovan Mitchell and Garland will play together. Now, if you look on paper, obviously it looks like a good matchup, and honestly, a match made in heaven. I think matching up Darius Garland with Donovan Mitchell is very important because Garland really elevated his game last year as a playmaker. And we saw last season when Donovan Mitchell was forced to be a playmaker on that team, he would literally avoid teammates, ironically Rudy Gobert, and it just made the whole team play bad as a whole. I mean, he literally averaged more turnovers than assists to Rudy Gobert. I'm pretty sure I fucked up that stat, but I know the stat is out there somewhere. You guys can probably find it. But if you have a guy like Garland who's willing to be a playmaker and is willing to take a back seat and not really trying to be the main scorer, and then you have a guy like Mitchell who his one objective is to score, it's a perfect situation. You got one guy who wants to be a passer, one guy that wants to be a scorer. It's kind of like Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Chris Paul is a playmaker and he's not a scorer first. However, when he does need to score, he can take off and do his thing. What's good is you're also not going to have to fully rely on Darius Garland. And like I mentioned, he could be in the shadows just doing his thing, and then if Mitchell's playing bad or they're double teaming him, you got Garland. Mind you, I did even mention guys like Evan Mobley in the paint and Jared Allen who were very good last season. But then you got the Devin Booker in this situation, who is obviously Donovan Mitchell, who will more than likely be your primary scorer, and the defense is going to pay a lot more attention to. So if you have this tandem of Mitchell and Garland, I think the Cavs are going to be in a very good situation. And if we're being honest, I didn't even mention guys like Kevin Love. Wait, that guy still plays basketball? I didn't even really get to talk about Karis LeVert. From the Cavs side, this was a very good trade, and they gave up too little for getting so much. The Jazz are going through a midlife crisis, so I'm not even sure how to analyze that. They're just not doing good, and I think Jazz fans know that. This was a very spontaneous trade, and it just goes to show that the NBA is a crazy fucking place. Oh, and New York fans, yeah, hold this out. If you guys want to see a video where I talk about Kobe Bryant being very underrated, click the video on the screen right here. Anyways, yeah, cue that outro.
Wish I never met, we both know that's a lie.